Hello everyone, and welcome to my Module 1 presentation for 3351. Before this course, I hadn't thought much about mindset theory, but I've realized many of my teaching strategies already support mindset shifts, and that I've already seen the impact and the benefits of them firsthand. Today, I'm going to share a few of the strategies, and I welcome your feed forward and your thoughts on how I can better foster positive, progressive mindsets in my students. My students typically come from quite diverse backgrounds, and I leverage that by using group projects a lot. It's a powerful experience when a young student, perhaps just out of high school or still in high school, is tutoring an older student in algebra, something they may not have done for decades. And when this happens, their fixed ideas about age and ability begin to fade, and mutual respect grows as they have this back and forth and they see each other's strengths. And this is the beginning of the mindset shift in my classroom. I also aim to spark curiosity in students by having more of a conversation than a lecture on subjects. And the students are encouraged to share relevant experiences on a topic, even if it isn't directly related yet to the trade or the career they're looking at. There's many things they might have experienced in their personal lives or at home that I can connect to the theories and the topics that we're talking about it. And once those connections start to happen, we get a lot of aha moments in class where real understanding and mindset change becomes visible. Also, rather than sticking to a standard question and answer approach where students are regurgitating information from a textbook, which is very traditional in trades, especially in a trade like I'm in that hasn't had a real good development in quite some years. I try to use practical, open-ended questions, asking them, how would you approach this problem, or which technique that we've learned would you apply in this situation? And while we're often required by Skilled Trades BC, to use their summative assessments at the end, anything leading up to that, as an instructor, we can apply a lot of these new techniques from the PIDP, and I found them to be incredibly valuable. When we get into our practical assignments in the shop, I don't collect those and hand back a grade. I have the student present when I'm going through that, and I ask them every step of the marking criteria. What would you give yourself out of 5 on the finish of this project? And they'll say, I'll give myself a 3. It could be better. Why do you say that? Well, if I'd cleaned my file more, it wouldn't be scratched up. So they take ownership of their actions and their choices, and they've already told themselves how to improve on the next project without me having to say anything to them. And this is showing that they're already moving on. Before I wrap up a topic, I often share real-world scenarios where I'll say, I went in to do a job, and this is what I walked into. What do you want to know? How do you approach this? And we do this as a class, and we start to get some lighthearted arguments between students on different approaches. And I become more of a mediator than an evaluator. And it lets the students apply the knowledge and defend their choices, which is incredibly powerful and shows their thinking moving forward. I feel like these techniques have been valuable, and I say that because I can see a shift towards a learner's mindset, because often 2 weeks later, The students will still be bringing up something that we've talked about previously, and they're still looking for application and, questioning that stuff. So it's coming back to them repeatedly, and they're still thinking about it, and they're looking for more information. Going forward in my programs, I plan to be more intentional and present a little bit of this information about mindset. And I'm going to use the mindset visual like the infographic I've posted along with the video. And I'm going to offer some optional readings so that the students can understand what's happening and see the value in it and take that value and, practice forward into their career and hopefully make lifelong learners out of them. Let me know what you think about what I've discussed here. I appreciate anything you have to share, and all the best in your own learning. Thank you.